This I have been waiting for a while. This, my friends, is something that the second I saw it, I knew I've got to do a review for you guys on this. This is the Dyson flat iron. By the way, if you're brand new to this channel, my name is Justin Hickox. I've been doing hair for 25 years. I've owned my own salon for the past 20. And there was a time where I actually got shipped boxes of flat irons to test to see how they responded to hair. And I've tried a lot of them, from very inexpensive irons to very expensive irons. And I've actually settled on one that I will be comparing this to in this video that I absolutely love. And so the big question is this bad boy worth $400 more? I say, why don't we get into this box, test it, and then ultimately see if I would recommend it for you. Let's do it. Guys. Okay, so this is something that's interesting about it already, and that is, if you see right here, it says the only straightener with flexing plates that shape to gather hair. So these plates actually flex. So let's see exactly how this works. First, we have this case, a traveling case. Ooh. I mean, let's be honest, I'm not going to carry this around, but I could see how my wife would probably love this. Ooh, are you ready? Ooh, God. Okay, first impressions. It feels a little bit heavier than my typical iron, but are you seeing anything here? Or are you not seeing anything here? Yeah, no cord. This bad boy is cordless, or you can use it corded, which to me is a massive deal. It also has this little fly thing here, right? So we take this off. When that is pulled out like this, you can actually, it disengages the battery, because you can take this on the airplane with you so you don't have to pack it in your luggage below. One thing that I would mention is that this was pretty hard for me to get on. I did notice that it seemed a little bit fragile, if you will, and I could see that as being a concerning point in the actual, or kind of a weak point, if you will, in the iron. If you pop this out, if you travel a lot and you're popping that out, putting it back in, popping it back out, putting it back in, I could see how that could get worn pretty easily. Those little prongs could get bent, and it would be hard to get this back in. That's really cool. Well, let's see what else is in the box before I jump into that. So we also have a stand. All right, so I assume that this goes in like this, and then this can sit in like that. That's cool. I like that already. Okay, let's just finish out this, what's in the box here. So, okay, so this is our cord. So this will allow us to both charge as well as, okay, I like that too. Listen. Did you hear that? So if you've got the dryer right now, the Dyson dryer, you know that the attachments magnetize on, right? So they just clamp on, they don't clip on like most plastic attachments. This is the same way, which to me is one of my favorite things about that blow dryer. It really does make it all that bit nicer. And this, just something as simple as this, to me, that's a nice addition, all right? It's the small touches that make a big difference. And let's be honest, at this price point, you better have some small touches. If you look right here, there's this little switch right here, right? When you switch that, it opens up. I like the fact that this actually locks down and it stays closed, and that you can actually just unlock it like that. Just turn it on and see if they actually ship it with any juice. Okay, a little bit. So here's your power button. Now you hit that button and you hold it for a couple of seconds and this turns on. Then you also have this button and this button. This is your heat up button and your heat down buttons. So it currently goes from a low of 310 degrees up to 360 or up to 410 degrees. I'll be, oh, damn. Okay, that, that heats up like that. That is quick. I will be it's 410 degrees. Whoa, whoa, there it is. That was really quick. Little check mark. See the little check mark? That little check mark meant it's hot. It's ready to go. That's impressive. Now I will be running this through test, so I will be timing that, but wow. They say that this will last 1, maybe 2 clients. I believe on 410 degrees, it lasts up to 30 minutes. That's a pretty impressive amount of time. Why don't we get to some tests? Okay, so before we jump into this, if you're brand new to my channel, my name is Justin Hickox, and I've been doing hair for 25 years. I've owned my own salon for 20, and what I like to do on this channel is share tips, things that I have learned over that career to help you with your hair, to make it a little more simple for you. So if you're into hair, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you can get notified every Tuesday when I bring out a brand new video, and I throw a few in there every once in a while, aside from just Tuesdays, so check that out. But today we're talking about the Dyson Corrale iron. And what I wanted to do is test this against my other favorite iron. And the reason for this is because I think we all know that it works. This thing is $499. The question to me is, how much better does it work than an iron that I absolutely love that has been more than efficient for me up to this point? This is the Infrashine ceramic iron. You can find this on Amazon right now for about $120. This is the iron that I recommend to all my clients. So then the question has to become, is this that much better? Okay, so before we jump into this, I think it's very important that we know I am not being in any way compensated by Dyson for this. I purchased this iron by myself with 100% my own money. I'm giving you a 100% honest review based on my experience in the 25 years I've been doing hair, and that's why I'm pinning it against an iron that I love. So I've broken this down into 4 basic categories. I broke it down into usability, efficiency, pros and cons of the Corrale iron, and my basic final thoughts. Is this an iron that is gonna make sense for you? So first of all, let's just jump into usability. Now the very first thing I did is I just wanted to put the iron in hair. I just wanted to try it once, just on a section, just to see how it worked. So this is gonna be my first run through someone's hair with this iron. Okay, I've got it heated up. I turned it on and heated all the way up to 410. That's the highest setting it'll go to. So let's see how this thing works. Okay, so I put it in here. It feels smooth. I do love already that it is definitely, whoo, look at that. That is very straight. Let me see if I can get a little bend in the ends on this front stuff the way that we normally would. Yeah, it still gives a nice bend to it. So let's try curl just to see if it does wave. Because I do also like the fact that this is rounded like this versus the standard, a lot of them are flat. So I would be curious to see how this actually does in just creating a little bit of wave to your hair. So I twist it back like I normally would, not like it normally does. Whoa, that's a lot of curl. That's actually more than I'd even want. Okay. So yeah, that gets a lot of curl very quickly. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to test with this was just how long they took to heat up. I set both of the irons at 400 degrees. Actually, I set the Dyson at 410. There wasn't an option to take it to 400. The Infrashine goes to 400, so I set 400 on the Infrashine. And I turned them both on and timed how long it took them to get fully hot and ready to go. The Dyson took 31 seconds, whereas the Infrashine to get to 400 degrees took 43 seconds. Something also to note is that the Dyson only took 20 seconds to get to 330 degrees, which is rocket fast in my opinion. It also gets down to comfort. How easy are these gonna be for you to use at home? Now you can see that there's not a massive size difference in the actual form factor, but the big difference comes within the weight. The Dyson comes in at about 20 ounces, whereas the Infrashine came in at 8 ounces. Now the other obvious difference between these two when it comes to usability is the lack of cord. That's a big deal, and I think once somebody uses this at home, it would honestly be really hard to going back to having a cord. Now after that, the next thing I wanted to do was see how they actually compare to each other. So what I did was I took an equal size section from the same side of the head to ensure that each section was about the same density. Then I took each iron, Dyson at 410 degrees and the Infrashine at 400 degrees, and I ran them through the hair at basically the same speed. To be completely honest, I didn't see a huge difference at this point. So my next test was to take them down to 330 degrees. And again, I didn't see a huge difference at this point. I decided I want to do half of the head with the Infrashine and half the head with the Corrale. Now here's where it got pretty interesting. I noticed that the Dyson definitely got the hair not necessarily smoother at the ends, but smoother throughout the entire hair shaft. It definitely smoothed the hair down more efficiently at the same temperature as the Infrashine. For me to achieve the same results with the Infrashine, I would have had to turn the temperature up on the Infrashine to probably in the 400-degree range, at which point I would be inflicting that much more damage on the hair. Okay, so let's talk about pros and cons of this thing. First of all, there are definitely some pros. Pros being the obvious, it's cordless. That's a huge deal to me. The fact that it heats up quickly is a huge deal. The fact that you can lock this down and keep this closed, the fact that you can take this on a plane with you and fly with it is a big deal. I also noticed that when you're going down a hair strand, because of these flexible plates, it definitely does clump that hair together a bit better and keep that hair inside of this plate. Now that translates to a more efficient transmission of heat across every hair evenly, which is a really big deal in the way that it smooths it out. I would venture to say that that's probably a large reason that even at the same temperature as the other iron, this has the ability to make the hair look smoother. I'll find myself, I'm sure, using this at the salon at a much lower temperature, at least 360 is probably what I'll use it on. 330 worked, but I'd probably bump it to 360 just to get it a tiny bit smoother. But right now, I'm using this at 400 on every client, and it's what I've always recommended. I'll move this to 360, get the same results in one pass, ultimately over time creating less damage. So that's a big pro. Now, let's talk about some cons. Cons, obviously, it's a $500 iron. That's not cheap. It's definitely gonna feel a little heavy to you at first. So do I think it's too heavy to use, or do I think it'll be a massive problem? No, I think it'll probably be okay. Okay, so let's get to some final thoughts. Do I think you should spend your hard-earned money on this bad boy right here? Not everybody will find value in this tool. Here's what I do think. If you are concerned about your hair health, yes, I think it's actually worth it. I think over time, this definitely will make a difference in hair health. If you're a person that likes convenience, meaning no cord, the convenience of being able to move around with this, then yeah, it's your option. So I would say that it would be a good deal for you. So one other thing that may or may not factor into whether or not it makes sense for you is I did notice that there's some edges in here, there's some ridges, and then these edges right here, this black edge around the plate here, it seems as though when I was going through hair, sometimes it wasn't quite as silky smooth when running it through as this iron was. So for some people, that drives them insane. That may be something that you want to think about, but I did notice it. However, it wouldn't keep me from buying it because I see a lot of other pros there that far outweigh that minor concern to me. One other thing that might factor into your purchase decision is the fact that the heat in most irons and any hot tool is stripping some of that color out of your hair. So if you're a person that goes into the salon often and spends a lot of money getting your hair colored, then this actually may help save you money in the long run because you're gonna notice less color fading over time, which could mean, depending on what kind of color you're doing, that you're going into the salon a little less often. And over time, an extended period of time, that could add up to a place where you might find that this actually pays for itself. So that is something that you should think about. That's not gonna happen the first month that you get this or the first 2 months that you get this. But it is something that is, in my opinion, worth thinking about. So I would love to know, what do you think? What do you think about this? Right? Comment below. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this little piece of machinery. I'd love to hear who's gonna get it and who's gonna be, not me. And so let me know below. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out with me. If you have any questions, you know where I'm at. Shoot me a comment below. Don't forget, if you like what you're seeing, do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Oh, and by the way, just in case you haven't figured out how to use one of these things right, there's a video right here all about tips on how to flat iron hair the right way so that you get the look that you want so you don't over damage your hair. So make sure you check that out. That's right here. Don't forget, it's right here. Okay. All right. You have a good one. I appreciate you hanging out. Be well. We'll see you soon. Bye.